Hello, my name is Roseanne Quintero, and this is my Module 4 for EDL 856, Understanding My Community for Heartland Ranch Elementary School in Coolidge, Arizona. When we move into the socioecological inventory of Coolidge, it's a very rural town. They're a very big agriculture community. They grow cotton and citrus, and then corn and alfalfa farms are in the surrounding areas. There are many migrant families because of its focus on farmland. So we have a lot of ELL population and kids moving in and out of our school district throughout the year. We border the Gila River Reservation, so we do have a large Native American population and demographics at our school as well. There could potentially be a boom in the town because there are factories being built, trucking factories and manufacturing companies, which will bring in a lot of jobs and families into the town. If we look at the map to the side here, Coolidge is located in between Phoenix and Tucson in southern Arizona. So we have a lot of families that travel either to Phoenix to work or to Tucson. If we look at their customs and traditions, they are primarily Catholic and Mormon religious backgrounds, primarily conservative community. They have what's called Coolidge Days and Cotton Days, which is in the spring, it's a large festival as cotton is their primary crop. Literally the whole town shuts down for their Cotton Days parade festival. It's a week long, and then the big festival is on Saturday. They love Coolidge High School sports, especially football. It's a very big tradition for Friday night home games. A lot of the town comes to the games. We also are home of Casa Grande Ruins. It's a national monument. Thousands of years ago, they are still the ruins from the Pima and the Pueblo communities. It is a very low socioeconomic community. And as an outsider, I do not live in the town, nor am I from the town. So as an outsider coming in and working, which isn't necessarily ideal in this town because they really like their homegrown community members, they have a very complacent mentality. Everything's been the same for years. It's okay if something is not the best, and they just go day to day with that mentality. Coolidge, Arizona has roughly 12,000 community members. 80% of the population has a high school degree. Primary languages are Spanish and English. There are a few main employers in the town: Pinal County, Arizona Prison, which is in Florence, so it's outside of the city limits, and then Walmart is a big employer as well. We are a very diverse community, primarily Hispanic, white African American, and Native American populations. They have many different communication channels. Their radio, Channel 11, the newspaper, the Coolidge Examiner, and then the county newspaper, which is Pinal Central. They're very big with their social media, so they have a page for Coolidge Community Chat. A lot of members get their communication through there. As a school, we use auto dialers, flyers on the reservation because we do serve that population. They have a community center, which we utilize, and then there are bulletin boards throughout the reservation, like on the side of the road, that we can go hang up information, and they stop religiously at those billboards. And then again, we utilize our migrant department and ELL department at district office to communicate with our large ELL and migrant populations. Some of the community groups that we have at a school level are the PTO, Robotics, and Girls on the Run. At a district level, we are a very big FFA community. Their band at the high school has a wonderful program, and they compete at state levels and get many accolades for that. For our employees, we have a CEA, which is Coolidge Employee Association. We are not a union state, so this serves as some form of a union at a district level, and they work with the state AEA, Arizona Educators Association. We have our Boosters Club and then a health and wellness program. At a community level, we have the Rotary Club, Parks and Rec, Casper, which is our after-school program, summer camps, and then our Coolidge Chamber of Commerce. They do a lot with our businesses. And on the reservation, the Boys and Girls Club is a very active organization, the Gila River Youth Council, and then the Tribal Council as well. Moving into our school leadership, Sherry Wallace is the superintendent. Jesse Arroyos is the principal at Heartland Ranch Elementary. Michael Flores, who is also shown in the pictures, he's our governing board president. We have various directors at district office, all of which are from the town except for our special education director. So as you can see, they focus a lot on that from the community mentality. There are 5 additional members on our school governing board. Moving into our community leadership, John Thompson over here with the red tie, he is our mayor. Rick Miller, who has the blue and gray tie, he is our city manager. There are 5 council members on city council along with the mayor and the vice mayor. And then our city clerk is Norma Ortiz. As a community, our leaders' characteristics, and this does trickle into the school district, they are a very reactive leader. They have a competitive mindset with our neighboring towns. So we have Florence and Casa Grande that are very close to us. And many decisions that they make are because neighboring towns are doing it, and so they want to do better than them. They want to keep their people in town and not give them a reason to seek additional items or activities or schools in neighboring communities. Like I've said, they do favorite community members. It is odd to have outsiders per se as in positions throughout the school district because they are reluctant to have that invested time. Economic conditions. Coolidge, and this is all according to the city data of Coolidge, Arizona. So there's about a 7% unemployment rate. 27% of the community lives in poverty. A little over $42,000 is the median household income. This was a 10% growth from prior years, and all of these numbers are from the 2018. The population has also grown to 12,220. That's over a little over 1% growth. And then the median property value is just over $130,000. This is a very, very different economic condition from what's called the Valley, which are suburbs of Phoenix or Phoenix itself. I do live in one of the suburbs of Phoenix, and these numbers are very, very different from Coolidge. Political structure. At the state level, our political influences are Republican Governor Ducey, and then our Superintendent of Public Instruction, Miss Kathy Hoffman. They're pictured here. Governor Ducey is at the podium, and Miss Hoffman is in the red blazer behind him. They do have a history in Coolidge of not passing bonds, or if they do, they pass by very little. Our most recent bond last year in 2019 only passed by 3%. At the state level, they do a lot for funding for public education. Governor Ducey recently, about 5 years ago, has done the 20 by 20, which was teachers would receive an overall raise of 20% by 2020. So this past year was our last year for that. And that was stemmed from our Red for Ed movement many years ago, and teachers actually did a state walkout. He also passed recent funding, $270 million, for a safe reopening COVID crisis plan. And his platform there was to minimize the digital divide and open schools safely in different phases during this uncertain time. School tensions, there are gangs. A lot of people will say they're not real gangs, they're imitation gangs. I don't necessarily know if they're, rooted in true gang mentality or vision, but there are groups of people that kind of create their own gangs. There are a lot of drugs in Coolidge, so with these groups of people, there does come drug territory. Like I said before, it is a very diverse town. There's not really any issues among the groups because they are all minority groups. So we have a lot of Native American, Hispanic, and African American members. So since they overall are all seen as minorities, they don't really go at each other in a discriminatory fashion. They kind of have each other's backs. And then Coolidge is seeing a downward trend in violent crimes, such as assault, and an upward incline of property crime, which is sad. But their crime rate is about 36 out of every 1,000 people. Here are the sources of information that a lot of people utilize and that I have utilized for this presentation. Those are all hyperlinks bringing you to the different websites. Using the city data for Coolidge, Arizona, the district website, and our school governing board agenda and minutes. Then obviously the city of Coolidge's website, the Chamber of Commerce, and then Pinell Central, which again is the county newspaper. Looking at power structures at the city level, there are both elected officials and then volunteer positions. And then looking at the district, Coolidge Unified School District number 21, we obviously have our hired personnel. So our superintendent, our directors, those are all hired. And then that obviously trickles down into teachers and school site administration. And then there are elected members such as the school governing board. Looking into a multicultural aspect, we do observe traditional holidays. We do have to consider tribal traditions, such as if there's a death in the tribe, those students are actually out of school for about 10 days to complete their entire formal mourning. So we do have liaisons that work with them for excused absences and so on and so forth. We are considered a modified school year, which means that we end school before Memorial Day in May, and we actually start at the end of July. But your fall break, your Christmas break, and your spring break are actually 2 weeks long. And we actually are a 4-day week school week, which is amazing. And I don't know how I'll ever go to 5 days again, but we do work Monday through Thursday. And then lastly, looking at the dress code from our handbook, we obviously honor personal style and preference as long as they are not impacting and affecting the education, health, and safety of others on campus. We also obviously have, no gang symbols, paraphernalia, that kind of thing falls into that. Looking at public opinion and opinion surveys, we have our school board meetings. We have an annual parent survey that we sent out at the end of the year. Social media and town meetings. And then our city also has a citizen advisory committee. And then with COVID, the school district has sent out a lot more surveys than usual and phone calls to kind of get different opinions and impact how we are reopening. And here are my references. Thank you.